So welcome back. If you guys have been following the last couple of videos, we're doing a deep dive into my book, Seven Biggest Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make Before Leaving Their Job. And in this chapter, we're diving into inadequate business planning, which is very vital in the early stages because people don't know you. So once you're starting to go out there and, get loans, or you're either trying to get clients and customers, you want to make things sound like you're a credible business. So there's no perfect way of doing that, but there's a plethora of ways that you can do that wrong, and it can be a bad reputation to your business. So inadequate business plan is very vital, and we deep dive in that chapter in the book. So we're just going to kind of highlight some of the points in there, so you guys can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think it was something that we learned because we had the business going, um, and we knew money was coming in, but we weren't really keeping track of what was coming in, what was going out, where was it supposed to be allotted to. And so then, when we went to try and go to a bank and try and talk to them, they were like, well, where's your business plan? And that was something that we hadn't started to do or hadn't even thought about doing. So that kind of put it in perspective of, okay, well, we need to take this a little bit more seriously and plan accordingly.
Yeah. So as Koresh mentions, one of the things that kind of can help you with that is a business plan. So let's say you're in the janitorial space or something along those lines where you're providing a service. In there's plethora of places you can go to get a sample business plan, and even a sample business plan specifically for janitorial. But what you want to do is have that business plan that's specifically catered to you. Some of the specific things in there, like where is it located, the ideal client you want to service, or the clients. Do you want to do janitorial for person to person, or do you want to do janitorial for business to business? All of that you want to capture in your business plan, and that's it's not only going to help that reader or that person that's looking at your plan, but it's also going to help you stay structured and in line, because you don't want to starting out that you're starting this janitorial business and you're on that path, but then halfway through it you kind of veering off to doing landscaping. We're doing janitorial, but at the same time, we're cutting grass and we're trimming trees and we're pruning, that type of stuff. Now it just looks like your business all over the place, and that can lead to a lot of questions. Like I say, specifically when you're trying to go after loans or you're trying to, sell your business. It's one of those things where it's like, well, what is this business exactly? They're kind of all over the place. I don't know if I want to do business with them. I don't know if I want to spend money with them, because they just kind of all over the place.
What kind of key elements do you think should be in a business plan?
Yeah. So like I say, specifically what the business does. Like I say, if you're doing janitorial, that wants to go in there. Other key element is a pro forma. It's where do you see that business projections in, maybe 1 to 5 years, and starting out. I like to do 1 to 3 years. So let's say, you can see that business making, $100,000 a year, and how you're going to attain that revenue. What does that look like? That's very vital in the business plan. And then people, still do SWOT analysis, those kinds of things, the strength, your weaknesses, your threats to the business, your customer, your market research. We did a chapter on that. You want to have that all in your business plan, and you want to be able to speak to it. So not only having that business plan, the physical copy, if somebody asks for it, you want to be able to speak to it and have it good, have like a 30-second elevator pitch. The other thing that we do in our business is we service the federal government. We do specialize in government contracts, and having that creditable business plan is something they want to see as you go along doing government contracts. And I'll just kind of throw that plug in there too. If you're interested in doing government contracts and want to learn how to sell your service or product to the federal government, make sure you check the description. There'll be a link in there that you can connect with Caress and I directly, and we'll help you with that. But all that's part of the business plan, and some things that you definitely want to have in there.
Yeah, and having a good business plan in place can help you with your marketing strategy. Knowing what is the market looking like for the particular business you want to be in. What's your competition? You want to know who's out there that's doing the same thing. What are their rates? What is it looking like? Are they having good follow through, good customer service? And these are things that you can look at to know, okay, well, I need to implement this in my business, more of that, less of that, just to kind of give you an idea of where to go, and also help you with, financial projections. So that way you can know, well, is this something that's even going to be a viable business? Because you definitely don't want to get into something where like Kurt said, you're just all over the place, or you get into something, you put a lot of capital into it, and then you're not making any money. So definitely things that you want to keep in mind.
Yeah, and in your business plan, it's not just in your business plan, but as you're building your business, you want to have things that other people are attracted to. So, like Carissa says, I just want to kind of circle back on that. Make sure it's kind of merging the marketing research chapter as well. In this chapter is that business that something that the market wants, and you're going to discover that in your business planning. The whole point of this chapter, like I said, is to help you brainstorm, capture where you want to go, and then kind of all funnel that all on paper so it looks professional when somebody asks. You're going to the bank once again and you want to get a $10,000, $50,000 loan. Okay, what does that look like on paper? Because somebody's going to review that. So just kind of want to highlight that in this chapter. Inadequate business planning. Like I said, there's more details in the book. So be sure to go get your copy here if you haven't already gotten it. And if you have gotten it and you want have questions and deep dive further into that chapter, put it in the comments. I'll be happy to answer those questions. And if you still kind of leery, make sure you connect with us on kurt-wilson.com, and I'll be happy to coach you through that process. Thank you.